to the channel. So today I'm just gonna quickly go over what I've still got in the garage to either be worked on or to go back to the shed to go back onto the truck at some point. This is as much for me now as it is for yourselves, just to rationalise in my head what I've got here, because obviously the big problem with having the two sides is I'm taking things off the truck and just throwing them into a bag and bringing them over to the garage to work on, which is great because it gives me the time to work on things here. I'm not feeling like I'm rushed, because obviously where the truck is about an hour, about an hour away from where I live here, and for the best of the world, I've got a family, so you know I haven't got days upon days upon days to work on the truck. So when I'm up at the workshop, it is pretty much me and the truck. Here at least I can do bits and pieces. I can go back in the house, do things in the house, come back outside, finish things off, etc. So if I'm just painting something, I can give a quick coat over something and go back inside, leave that to dry and do other things in the house. So what's ended up happening is I've ended up with quite a few bits here, and as I say, I need to rationalise what I've got. So I'm just going to go over and with this bag here, I'm just going to take the things out, show you, and show myself what I've got. So first thing I've got are the windscreen wipers. They are the old blades, which I've managed to get some new blades for. Actually, it was a little bit more difficult than I thought, because although the size is relatively easy to get hold of, they've, like everything else in the truck, have been adapted to fit. So I've had to drill out all the normal fixings that are used to connect these to more modern vehicles, and just basically put a nut and bolt through, which is how the old ones were held on as well. So that will require just setting correctly on the truck once they go back on the truck, just so that they're in the right angle in order to work. I've got the two tread plates that go on the bumper. So the bumper is away being painted, as are the doors and the grille, etc. of the truck, which you'll either have seen by now or not, as the case may be. As I say, I don't know what order these videos are going to come out in. So these are the plates that go on the front, just so that you can stand on it in order to clean the windscreen and things like that. I've got some new windscreen washer hose, because the old stuff is completely, well, I won't go as far as to say it's perished, but it's almost rock solid. There's no flex in it whatsoever, so it's completely knackered. So got some new hose, so we'll replace all the hose on the windscreen washer jets as well. I've got the fixings for the doors, because all the doors were taken off, so those fixings have all been cleaned, and I don't know, okay. So they're the fixings. So they've all been cleaned up. I don't know if you can see that. Let me put my hand behind it. I've seen this on a few of these YouTube videos where they put their hand behind it in order to try and make it a bit easier to focus on it. So they're the bolts. They've all been cleaned up now. What I've also done is I've recut the thread on all the nuts. Sorry, all the bolts to go through, because they were all a little bit knackered, so the threads, the nuts weren't going on properly, so they've been recut. I've straightened out the locking washer that goes on, because once that needs to screw on first, and then that needs to be bent down in order to lock the nut in place. So they've all been prepared and cleaned and sorted, so they're ready to go back on. Number plate. Got the fixtures and fittings for putting the bonnet back on and the handles, etc. They've all been painted, so they're ready to go back on as well. As have been the blanking plates for basically the towing eyes. in here are all the letters for Dennis's name with new bolts put on, ready to go on the truck. I've also got some double-sided sticky tape on there as well, number plate sticky tape, just to hopefully give it a little bit more hold. The other thing I've got as well is, when I was having a look at them, it appeared to be that water had got in behind the letters, which is understandable really, because they were only just pressed up against the bonnet. So water was getting behind the letters, and that had caused quite a few issues. That's why all the bolts had come off. So I've got some silicon sealant, silver silicon sealant, and what I'm going to possibly do with that, I've got it just in case, but what I might do with that is I might look to just run a bead of silicon sealant around the letters, just so the water can't get behind them. I'm going to leave that with that's the smallest hole on it. I'm not going to cut this back at all, just to actually put a very, very small amount of sealant in. I don't want it to end up looking like a bathroom. And that's it for the stuff that I've taken off Dennis to go back on the truck. So we'll just put all that back in the bag. And I've also been shopping. And when I say I've been shopping, I've been in contact with the internet and found a guy up in Durham who is breaking a Dennis SS, breaking his truck. Basically, it's had it. So as a result of that, I've got a few bits and pieces off that in order to put on my vehicle. So we'll turn the camera around. So still a bit of a mess in here. So first and foremost, I've got these. These are what we affectionately known are the trees. So these are the brackets, for want of a better term, or the trees is what they call them, which is what things like the roof ladder or short extension ladder will have gone on the truck. So they get bolted onto the roof. I bought them basically because the price was right. I think they go on my truck, I'm not sure, but I got them because they were available and they were there ready. So I got them for the truck, so we'll see if they go on the truck. See if I've already actually got them on my truck, because I've not looked at any of the pictures. I might already have some on my truck, but these are in much better condition. They're really nice. They've been powder coated painting, and that's all good. I have got an AWG branch. So those of you who are in the job will know that was roughly about the kind of branch that we were using at the time of Dennis. So that's an AWG branch, so that's there just to go on the truck. I've also got, as you can see here, some new, well not new, I've got the clocks and switches. The switches aren't in particularly great order, but I've got the clocks or the dials off the other vehicle. I've also got the dashboard off it as well. Got that primarily for these two here, for the air gauges, because I'm still not convinced that my air gauges are working right. If they are working right, then there's something going on with the air supply, and that needs to be sorted. But one of the very easy things might be to just swap these gauges out, put those gauges on, and see if it does the same thing. Even if it doesn't fix it, if it does something different, at least I know it's the gauges. So we'll see about those. So just need to put these back with everything else to go with the truck. That's all those things. I've got here the wing mirrors. They've been painted up now, so they look quite good. So they will go on the vehicle as well. He says, not wanting to, let's just put them down gently so we don't scratch them. So that's one, and that's the other one. So the two wing mirrors to go back. Now in this bag here is a replacement, I don't know what you want to call it really, lift pump for the cab. So that's the pump that's used to lift the cab up, as you might recognise that. As you can see on this one, let's try and get some light on it. The pin, which is where the handle locates onto, that's broken off. But on my one, this shear pin here has broken, and this piston's come out. So between this one and my one, I'm hoping, and with somebody who knows what they're talking about, I'm hoping that we're going to be able to make my one work again and get to get this bit fixed. So I just need to look at whether or not this just slides out or not, because the washer inside that had come off as well. So we need to have a look at what we're doing with regards to that. But that's to go on the truck as well. And then the final bit is that. For those of you who are in the know, that is what we call a ladder gantry. So that's missing on my truck. So that's where the big ladder in the middle, the 135 meter ladder, that's what the 135 meter ladder, the head of the 135 meter ladder, that's what that locates on. And as I say, mine's missing, so that needs to be all cleaned up. As you can see, it's pretty rusty in places. So I'm going to clean all that down, strip it down, clean it all, clean all the rust, reprime it, put it back together partially, so I won't put things like these rubber strips back on initially, but put all together, all the bit that's going to be red, put that back together, spray it up then, because I'm going to be getting some red paint, spray it up and then finish off putting it all together, and then that'll go and get bolted onto the roof of the truck. So the next job to do in the garage is to strip that down and clean that up. The two pieces of wood there go underneath it, act almost like washers. So they'll go they go underneath, so I'll give them a clean down as well and spray them up and give them a clean up as well, so they'll get done as well. So that all needs to get done. So that's the next job. Let's get on with it. Okay, so I need to clean off this. So we'll start with this edge.